If we want to build a strong economy, a strong society, a strong Pennsylvania, fairness has to be at the center of that. Inclusion has to be at the center of that. Hope and trust, those things that actually make human
Tom Wolf is doing something very few politicians can manage. He's taking down the incumbent. Wolf has built up a positive rapport with voters early in the campaign to accomplish this.
He was running ads in Pennsylvania very, very early that got him a dramatic lead in the polls that he kept throughout the whole primary race. And he was able to introduce himself to all voters with those ads.
One topic Wolf constantly returns to is the idea of an extraction tax.
So the Corbyn administration put an impact fee, which was a tax on new oil wells, and it would go to localities. And the Wolf campaign is saying that's not enough. We need to have a 5% gas extraction tax with money that would go to the state and that can be used to fund these things, this shortfall.
Another favorite issue of Wolf's is education.
Because I can stand up and say, you know, education is not an elective thing. Public education is something we need to support because that's how we get to a good society.
Wolf is a wealthy, well-educated businessman, but that's not the image he's created. His website emphasizes down-to-earth characteristics such as his community service, how he drives a Jeep, and how he's worked as a forklift operator.
Well, I wasn't trying to do any. My first effort to connect with the voters was my story. And I just said who I am. I do live in the same house I came home to from the hospital. I make that up. I live in a small town in York County, and I make that up. I drive a Jeep. That's what I do. I distribute or share 20 to 30% of my net profit with my employees in my company. That's what I do. People, yeah, I think they like that.
He's basically a patrician, which is such an interesting dynamic because he's a Democrat, so you've got a businessman running as a Democrat and kind of the Republican trying to attack him with a lot of the same kind of attacks that Democrats typically level on Republicans. So I think that's created like cognitive dissonance with the voters a little bit and helped Wolf because he can rely on that experience as a businessman.
Whether Wolf is elected or not, the situation in Pennsylvania will be tough sledding.
I know what they're going to have to do, which is struggle to put a budget together. It's going to be a struggle. You don't get that sense reading the campaign materials or watching the campaign ads, but that's the reality.
Wolf has been leading in the polls throughout his campaign and is expected to win the election. For RMU Century Media, I'm Haley Sawyer.